In the last 24 hours, we have an official statement from a retired judge who inquired for many years on the Ayodhya Babri issue. We have live TV coverage from a leading channel, one of yours, I will not name it, since yesterday going on today, about how BJP, RSS, VHP together are doing an openly communal campaign in UP. It's recorded on camera. We have, thirdly, a flagrant, crude defense and justification by the BJP of Mr. Amit Shah's statements. I am not only on these three issues. I am on the larger picture these and other issues reflect. They reflect the communal agenda of India's oldest communal party. If there is a party which has consistently itself and through its remote control holders specifically professed a communal agenda of divide and get power, it is the BJP. We don't have time to go into history, but you cannot ignore and forget the great words of Golwalkar and Hegdewar, who specifically assert that minorities, and in particular one minority, are second-class citizens of this country. Nothing seems to have changed in those words 80, 90, 100 years ago to now. If you fast forward, there are innumerable examples, and from the 20s, 30s and 40s, only one fast forward stops at 1992. There are many in between also. What was the Rath Yatra? The Rath Yatra's professed objective was to conflagrate communal passions for one object only, to get the BJP back to some respectable number of seats because it had virtually no presence in parliament. It was a communal agenda which led to bloodshed. It has been captured on candid camera, and it ultimately led to the Babri demolition. What is sad is that although there are some people who have owned up openly, almost proudly, to this tragic event, there are others, the real others, who are responsible but who don't have the courage of their convictions to own up to it. You have, on the one hand, an open secret in this country for the last 20 plus years. Everybody knows that the Babri demolition was meticulously pre-planned. A 10-15 year judicial investigation led to a report which gives you the number of trucks, the number of hammers, the number of implements, the number of so-called car sevaks, it's an insult to that phrase though, used in that demolition. And you have this obvious picture on candid camera, and you are asked to believe that it was all automatic and spontaneous. You are asked to believe by the same party's professed prime ministerial candidate in 2009 that it was the saddest moment of my life. That's what Mr. Advani said. And he is captured standing there. Ms. Uma Bharti is captured dancing with joy. Several other BJP leaders, and the Hall of Fame or infame, as you might like to call it, extends from Mr. Advani to Uma Bharti to Kalyan Singh to Vinay Katiyar to K.S. Sudarshan to B.P. Singhal to Kalraj Mishra. So many names. And then you have this charade and a facade of a defense that it was a spontaneous act. Well, this was the worst kept secret of India. It was an open secret in '92. It was an open secret in the 2000 decade. It was an open secret when the Liberhan committee recorded the details, all meticulously planned. So what we have found from the recent so-called sting is nothing but another confirmation of what the whole nation knows. And the hypocrisy is that while Mr. Mutalik yesterday, 24 hours ago, and certainly Mr. Mutalik is not somebody to emulate in any manner, but the hypocrisy is that he says, look, why are you denying this? I was part of it, I own up to it, I am proud to own up to it. But the hypocrisy is the most interesting part. The Modis, the Advanis, the Kalyan Singhs and the Vinay Katiyars don't have the courage to own up to it also. As somebody said, friends, the true hypocrite is one who ceases to even perceive his own deception. Why? Because he has mastered the art of being hypocritical with sincerity. So he is utterly sincere in his hypocrisy. That is what you have from the BJP. But let me go to the widest third circle. There is a narrower peg of the last 24 hours. There is a larger peg from Hegdewal, Golwarkar to 92 to yesterday's, few days ago, sting. There is a larger circle that ultimately the soch, the chal charitra chehra of this party, the thinking is imbued with rank, crude communalism. Whether you remember the Hum Panch, Hamare 25, whether you remember the James Michael Lingdo, whether yesterday the leading channel in English has recorded, the names are there, Lalit Maheshwari of VHP, Bhupinder Singh of VHP, campaigning in UP along with Mr. Amit Shah for the BJP, and they are openly seeking votes on the grounds of Hindu torture or minority oppression. This is on camera yesterday. I beseech you to say it. I am not taking the name of the channel because it may not be the right thing to do from this podium. This is a cocktail of communalism mixed with crony capitalism. A cocktail of crony capitalism and communalism. The agenda is to swallow up the idea of India, just like Mr. Modi has already swallowed up the BJP itself. It is only Modi. There is no BJP. Vote for Modi, don't even vote for the candidates of the BJP. You are only to vote for Modi. And to that, the Tribune statement which talks about Mr. Liberhan saying that whatever is now recorded in a separate operation, so-called sting, is exactly the similar or same to what I found in a recorded judicial verdict by a retired judge in a commission of inquiry. It is also the same as Amit Shah's rank communal comments. Friends, these are people who do not understand the idea of India. The idea of India, the word secularism is not a mere word. There is a very nice example if you apply Lincoln's phrase, of the people, by the people, for the people. Somebody asked, why by the people or for the people is understandable, by why of the people? Of the people because it is to give a sense of ownership to every person in this country and ownership of democracy. And that is the essence of secularism. Each of you and us have a sense of ownership, but the BJP does not believe in that. Why does the BJP not believe in that? Because, friends, while we stand for synthesis, they stand for separation. While we stand for aggregation, they stand for segregation. While we stand for pluralism, they stand for dominance. These are persons who cannot even digest the very concept of humanistic pluralism or pluralistic humanism, which is the essence of inclusive democracy, which in turn is the essence of Indian Constitution. और मैं आपको याद दिलाना चाहूँगा कि ये वही पार्टी है वही नाम है, वही लोग हैं, वही चेहरे हैं, वही वक्तव्य हैं, वही सोच है। जिसने जब उच्चतम न्यायालय में उनके मुख्यमंत्री ने, ये कभी भारत में नहीं हुआ, किसी देश में नहीं हुआ, उच्चतम न्यायालय में आश्वासन दिया कि हम प्रदेश सरकार जिसको पूरा उत्तरदायित्व है कानून व्यवस्था का, हम ये देखेंगे कि यहाँ कुछ न हो। और उस बात को एक वक्तव्य में उच्चतम न्यायालय के मुख्य न्यायाधीश ने रिकॉर्ड किया अंडरटेकिंग में, और अगले दिन अवाक रह गया देश जब उच्चतम न्यायालय को दी हुई अंडरटेकिंग को छुटला दिया गया। तो उस वक्त तो गालिब का ये शेर सबको याद आता ही था कि गज़ब किया तेरे वादे पर एतबार किया। उच्चतम न्यायालय ने कल्याण सिंह जी के वादे पर एतबार किया था, गज़ब किया कि तेरे वादे पर एतबार किया, तमाम रात क़यामत का इंतज़ार किया। ये सही चेहरा है उन लोगों का जो बांट कर शासन करने में निपुण हैं। हम उन विदेशियों को दोषारोपण करते हैं, उन विदेशियों की निंदा करते हैं जिन्होंने डिवाइड एंड रूल की पॉलिसी निर्मित की थी। लेकिन आज अगर देश को सांप्रदायिक लकीरों में बांटने का प्रयत्न कोई पार्टी करती है अवसरवादी रूप से, और जिसका स्वार्थ सिर्फ एक सस्ती राजनीति और पद सत्ता है, वो बीजेपी है। हम मानते हैं कि आज जो आपको और तथ्य आए हैं 1992 के बारे में या लिबरहान की रिपोर्ट की व्यापक समीक्षा में जो तथ्य थे, या बाकी जितनी चीज़ें जो आपने कैमरा में देखी, इनसे ये सब सिर्फ जानबूझ के नहीं किया गया, ये सिर्फ सोच समझ के नहीं किया गया, लेकिन ये जानबूझ और सोच समझ के सत्ता के लिए किया गया। और इससे जो देश की अस्मिता पर एक मनोवैज्ञानिक रूप से चिरस्थायी दाग लगा है, चोट लगी है, उसका किसी ने, बीजेपी ने कभी ध्यान नहीं दिया। That is why this country will always have a trust deficit with the BJP. That is why the trust deficit must continue, and that is why for a plural, inclusive country like India, there can be no place for the BJP in power.
Any questions?
Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Sir, not regarding this thing, actually. Last night while announcing the list of candidates list of AP and Telangana.
Where?
Previous night around 10 o'clock while announcing the list of AP and Telangana.
AP and Telangana, yes.
Suddenly Mr. Surjewala stopped it and went away. What happened exactly? And it was recorded that Mr. Tom Vadkan is saying that please stop the list, announcement of the list. Not TV channels, so recorded all. What happened exactly?
I'll clarify that. We are issuing the list today evening and it will be mailed to all of you. And that's, no, we don't have any explanations to render. We will give you the list by mail today evening. Thank you.
What happened exactly?
No, but what is the problem? We are not, you are having a contest, you are having candidates, whether we announce it yesterday or today, it's our business. How does it matter? We are announcing the list today, it's a non-issue.
Why you people getting so embarrassment while announcing your candidates?
We are not getting embarrassed because we are having the names before you. They are the people who will fight elections. Where is the question? You can even have the right as a party to change the names. We are not obliged to. We are not obliged to.
You have the right and you can clarify it. But
Yes.
It's all about technical matters.
No, whatever it is, you will get the names. I think it's a non-issue.
Shiv Sena leader Sanjay Rao has said that if Shiv Sainiks have been there in the demolition of Babri Masjid, he is proud of being a Shiv Sainik.
I agree entirely with what you are saying. I am agreeing entirely. Two reasons. One, at least, and certainly there cannot be a bigger opposer of Shiv Sena or Mr. Rao than us, but at least he has the courage of his convictions to say the bad, dark, horrible deed he did. The Advanis, the Kalyan Singhs, the Kalraj Mishras, and so many others, the Modis, do not have their courage of conviction. Where is the strong man who stands up and says that? They are hypocritical. And I have just defined to you hypocrisy as those who are able to lie with sincerity. And second reason is that you have now seen the chehra of parties who are in alliance together on the idea of India, who want to form a majority government in this country, who get up before you and say, I am proud to have done this, whereas for the last 20 years the official line is that it happened spontaneously. There was a stroke of lightning from the top.
General perception is that there was a lack of will on part of the Prime Minister that time, Narasimha Rao, to protect the mosque.
Let me make it very clear that it is a absolute total distortion. And let me tell you why. Let me tell you why. First of all, you are not prepared to blame squarely and fully the man on the spot, the BJP-led government in UP. Secondly, you are not prepared to recognize the sole constitutional responsibility, exclusive. You have asked a question, let me answer now. It's not, you can't interrupt an answer. I'm sorry if you ask a question. Otherwise, don't ask a question. Please don't interrupt an answer. Secondly, the BJP cries of federalism when they talk of exclusive law and order power in the state. You forget that when Mr. Kalyan Singh's government fails to maintain it. Thirdly, your question ignores the undertaking in writing given to the Supreme Court before the demolition. In writing, never before happened. Breached. And you go to a completely not secondary, not tertiary, vicarious responsibility of the central government, who is equally misled by the same affidavit which had been filed in the Supreme Court. All I can say is that neither are minorities so foolish as the BJP thinks they are, neither is the nation so foolish as the BJP thinks they are. They know very well that the Kar Sevaks are theirs, the government is theirs, the demolition is theirs, it is recorded, and there is no point transferring the blame 600 miles away to Delhi.
Sir, today BJP and PDP reached an agreement in seat share in Andhra Pradesh and Telangana. What is your comment on it?
Now, why should we comment on it? They are old partners in crime, if I may use the phrase in jest. They have been together in NDA times. So is it surprising that they are together? What is surprising is that they took so long to agree, to disagree first, and finally to agree to agree.
Mr. Singhvi, you do attack Bharatiya Janata Party on communalism. You do attack Amit Shah on polarization in Muzaffarnagar in recent statement. But why are you completely silent on the Sonia Gandhi Imam Bukhari meeting? Sonia Gandhi
Nobody is silent.
Perhaps did ask him to make an appeal to the minority.
Let us.
And also, one last question. Why then are strong leaders in the Bharatiya Janata Party, not in the Congress, not coming ahead to fight elections against Narendra Modi?
Now, let's get your second question out of the way. There is no connection with the first. Whether somebody fights election or not, whether somebody loses or not, it has no relevance to a fundamental secular communal divide in this country as far as parties are concerned. Second, who will fight Mr. Modi, you will know shortly. Maybe in 24 hours, maybe in 48 hours. I am not making a deadline, but you will know soon. But your first question is more important. What was the exact nature of your first question? Yes, now let me tell you about that. I think you have to have a sense of balance about comparing at least ants with small size animals. Don't compare an elephant with an ant. Mrs. Sonia Gandhi and the Congress party has every right and has for the last, from its inception always, every Congress president has been talking to all, adversaries even, to parties who fight against us. Please don't divide the secular vote. It's something which she is entitled to say, not to A or B, but to everyone, and she does say it. Whether it is to Mulayam Singh's party or to BSP or to anybody else considered secular in this country. That matter even Ms. Mamata Banerjee. Now these are not parties which agree with us. So he spoke to somebody who is supposed to be a leader and said that. And if you compare that with the 25 examples I have given you about the BJP, VHP and Bajrang Dal in this country along with the RSS demolishing something on candid camera, I think the word lack of proportionality assumes a special significance. Thank you. निश्चित रूप से वो तो बहुत ही नरम एक परिणाम होगा. न्यूनतम रूप से आप जो कह रहे हैं सही है. थैंक यू. देखिए उसमें मैं क्या कह सकता हूँ. अभी कल परसों की बात है, उनको टाइम लगता है, वो देखते हैं फुटेज वगैरह.
April 24th is the election. Will Sonia Gandhi ji, Rahul Gandhi ji come to Tamil Nadu in
Sorry, I don't
To the
understand it.
program, we'll let you know.
We'll let you know, and I'm not in charge of that anyways. I don't know.